Welcome to a very special episode on the J.A.T side. Today is March 15th, 2024, and I'm excited to be joined by Coach Holly for a second time on the J.A.T side. If you didn't catch November's episode with Coach Holly, be sure to go check that one out. But thank you, Coach Holly, for taking some time out of your busy day today and meeting with me.
Yeah, man, I
So,
appreciate you having me for the second time.
yes, sir, no
Been
problem.
a lot of life updates.
Yeah. So, we're going to start off with the pretty, I think, fair question. Um, if you guys don't know, Coach Holly recently was announced as the new Peachtree Ridge softball head coach. So congratulations on that, coach. And obviously that means he will be leaving Brookwood, but we'll get to that later in the episode. But how did you feel when you first realized that you would be a head coach?
It's something that since I was 18, that's kind of when I started coaching. 18, 19 years old, just as an assistant over the summer. So it's something that I realized that I wanted to do with my life. Just kind of pushed to get that opportunity and really wanted it. When I came to Brookwood, I knew that being a super young guy, like it was going to take some time. But I just kept pushing for it. Got rejected at some places, and finally just found an opportunity that worked out. But I mean, that call that I got, just telling me that I got the job, is something that I'll always remember. Just being offered that position, it made me a little emotional, just because it's something that I worked really hard for. Peachtree Ridge is also a place that my fiance Alex, she went to and she graduated from, and she played softball there for 4 years, and her name's on the dugout, her name's in the school. So it's just kind of a full circle moment that I'm at this point in my life now, and I met her, and now I'm where she's been for a long time. So it's just a really cool thing to be able to say that I've accomplished, and I'm really just ready to get started.
Wow, that's amazing. That is really a full circle moment. Getting your first head coaching job at the same high school that your fiance attended and played
Yep.
softball at, and now
Yep.
like you're the softball head coach. So
I know it. It's crazy. Crazy how
yeah,
life
it
works
really
out.
is. God works in mysterious ways.
Hmm.
Um, I know last time you were on the JAT side, you said you couldn't really choose between baseball and softball. But hypothetically, if you were offered, say, the head coaching job at Parkview for baseball, would you take that over becoming the head softball coach at Ridge?
So even though I hesitated a little bit, it's not a hesitation, but it's going to be try to be as respectful as possible kind of thing. There is no possible way that I could ever um, wear the color orange like that. Um, just being at
Uh,
Brookwood and being a part of that rivalry, I think it's created just like a passion for that rivalry and wanting to be involved in it. Um, so like my association, I don't want my association to have anything to do with Parkview or anything. I don't care what it is, and I'm sure that they feel the same way. But also like what Chan Brown's done with that program there, he's got every accolade that you could imagine as a head baseball coach. So if there was a time where he ever decided to retire and just kind of, if I got offered that position, I don't think I would want to go into a program that's already made a name for itself. I guess I see myself more as like a program builder. So going to Peachtree Ridge, it's kind of something that I get to build up and kind of make my own. But going into that situation, he's already created the environment and the atmosphere there for what their team is. So I'm sure one of their assistant coaches that they have now would take that role. But more than anything, I want to build a program. I want to make it my own, and I get to do that at Peachtree Ridge. So I choose Peachtree Ridge softball any day over Parkview baseball for sure.
hey, I'm very happy to hear that you wouldn't, switch sides like that.
Yeah, I think a
in
lot
the
of people would come after me if I said yeah I would do that. But I mean that's the honest truth. I don't. It'd be hard to wear a paw print on my shirt and wear the color orange and blue. As it's just yeah I can't do it. I can't do it.
blue and white. I like that a lot better than orange and blue.
Yeah, red, white, and blue, man. It's good color scheme they got.
Great. So sorry to bring the mood down because we started off on a pretty good note, but we all know there was an incident that occurred a couple of weeks ago in one of the bathrooms at Brookwood. Um, so when you first obviously heard about it, everybody I feel like heard about it around the same time before like the news and stuff came here. But when you first heard about the incident, how did you first feel? Like, what was your initial feeling?
Yeah, so kind of like when things happen like that at school, you hear a lot of different things. Um, People just kind of make speculation and say this happened. Oh no, this happened. We don't know what happened. So it's a lot of different things flying around from a lot of different people. Um, but once we got kind of the idea of what had happened and got more of the news out, like obviously it's heartbreaking that could happen inside of a school. But also once you start seeing clips and you start seeing all this stuff that's posted, it's really sad. And I've talked to my baseball players about this. I've talked to my classes that I teach about this, but it's really sad that in those situations, the first thing that a lot of students think about is to get out their phones and start recording. Like it's 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 disappointing knowing that like that young generation and the high schoolers now that are going to be coming up and be leaders of our world one day, that's the things that they think about. And what I told to my baseball players and my students is that in those situations, nothing else matters except for the person that's in need. We've got to figure out, like as a society, that people's needs and their health is more important than likes that you might get on a social media post, or trying to create chaos with people thinking that things are happening and showing people stuff. But I mean, that's really just a challenge to the high school students that care about people first, put other people's needs before yours, and don't think to get out your phone first. And I mean, really, it's the same thing if you go to like a big event, or if you go on a date with a girl, or don't be on your phone. Enjoy the moment. Like you can take a picture here or there, but don't spend your time on the phone. And definitely not in that situation. Care about people and put them first. So that was a heartbreaking thing to see. But hopefully we can learn from it as a school and get better and figure out how to improve in that aspect. So hopefully something like that doesn't happen again. And if it does, hopefully the people around that situation act differently.
Yes, that was a great response. I actually made an episode on the J.A.T side 2 weeks ago from today, on March 1st, discussing the incident, how I felt about it. Um, in about 15, 16 minutes. So if you guys didn't listen to that, make sure to go listen to that. But basically, one of the things that I said about the situation was something that Dr. Savage said when he talked to the school the day after it happened, and he said that we have to stop, you know, the first we stop doing that thing that Coach Holly just said, pulling out our phones when we see something like that happen. And as students, we have to take that responsibility very seriously because we're not thinking about, as Coach Holly said, we're not thinking about the person. We're thinking about social media and just like all things that don't really matter and should not come before somebody else's safety. And Coach, you kind of answered my next question as well. I was gonna ask you, what do you want to see as students when stuff like this occurs? But you kind of just said what you want to see. Think about the person first, and really, as I also said in my episode, where I solely talked about this for 15 minutes. Think about how you would feel if you were in that situation. Treat others the way you want to be treated. It's a very basic principle, but it's something that a lot of people neglect to do.
Right.
So, yeah, just
Yeah, but like I told my students about this too. Like in that situation, and I mean it's something that I was taught in college when I took my health classes and figured out like how to react in those situations. But like the most important thing that you need to do in that situation is one, just be down by somebody's side, hold a hand, make sure that they're okay, try to keep them responsive. If there's like an action that you need to take, whether it be CPR or holding a wound or something like that, then do that. And while you're acting and you're caring for the person, there's always going to be somebody else around. So tell that person to go and get help. Um, wait there until that person arrives. But you just kind of in that moment, you have to know what to do in that process. It's something that I was taught, but it's also something that I think that I would know anyways. Just because you try to be a good person, you don't try to think about yourself in those situations. So I think there's just a lot of selfishness that comes with it, and just figuring out to put somebody else's needs above yours is the most important thing that you can do in that situation. So, I mean, I hope people hear this, and I hope people know that these situations will happen. Um, Hopefully they don't, but when they do, you just got to know how to behave in those situations.
yeah. And I think, yeah, taking this as a learning experience for if it does happen again, we don't want it to happen again, but in the event it does happen again, um, we want to make sure that we're proactive now, so that when we have the situation, if it happens again, that it's handled better and
Right,
handled in a way that um everybody is making sure that they're getting the proper like treatment, and obviously everybody's acting the way they're supposed to be acting.
right.
But um before we end today's episode, obviously earlier in the episode, with you taking the head coach job at Peachtree Ridge, this is your last, you know, 9 to 10 weeks at Brookwood. So what will you miss most about Brookwood?
First of all, you said 9 to 10 weeks, and that seems like a lifetime. I was hoping it would be like a couple weeks, and I mean, I think we got 10 days until spring break, so that's nice. But it seems like time's slowly moving. But there's a lot of things that I'll miss about Brookwood. There's a lot of people that I could mention that I'd miss at Brookwood. Um, but I think most importantly, it's the connections that I've made with a lot of the students here and with the kids here and the players here. But that's the hardest thing about it. It's hard to be somewhere for 2 years and build those relationships that I've built, and just kind of leave them behind. Um, so my biggest thing is just knowing that I'm not leaving them behind, but like I'll always be there for them. They have my number; they can give me a call. I'm hoping that a lot of my players will call me one day and say, "Hey, Coach Holly, I've got a signing day. I hope you can come to it," because that's stuff that I want to do. But I mean, the players and the memories that I have with them on the field and in the classroom, those are really important to me. This year, especially in the classroom with the classes that I've had that have kind of helped me throughout Teach Gwinnett and supported me when I have my observations. I've had 17 observations this year. So my classes have helped me through those, and they've been great in the classroom when those observations are happening. So that's something I'll never forget. Just kind of the support from Brookwood as a whole is special. The community here seems to come together a lot, and that's really good to see. Um, but yeah, and also just a lot of the coaches here, a lot of the staff here, and how they've supported me in these 2 years. It's something that I came into and I didn't really know anything about. And now I feel like in year two that I know a lot about how to teach. I know a lot about how to coach, and I couldn't have done that without the coaches on the baseball staff, the coaches on the softball staff, and the people in my department and even not in my department that have helped me out. But just relationships, man. With clerks, clerks are the biggest part of it. Got Donna Lapine in the front office. Got Robin Pridgeon, Michelle Hillis, Lisa Kung. Like those are my people, and it's going to be tough trying to get by without them in my life. But hopefully at Peachtree Ridge, I'll make those connections again and try to build that again and make my own memories somewhere else. But yeah, I mean it's tough to go, and I've got a lot of Brookwood stuff. I've got too much that I can actually keep in my closet and in my on my desk. So I've got a lot of stuff that I got to take with me, but those memories they'll stick forever, and hopefully I'll be around and still be able to watch people grow and graduate from here, and this is a place that I'll always remember. So I'm thankful that I got the opportunity to start off my career here, and I'm thankful for every memory that I have made here.
Yeah, that's great to hear, and knowing that you've been here for 2 years, and I've been here for 2 years too, because I came, I'm assuming, the same year that you came in at Brookwood as a freshman. Um, and just having you here, you're somebody that I feel like a lot of kids they see, or a lot of students they see as, you know, one of the teachers and one of the people that in the school that you feel comfortable with, and one of the people that you just feel like you can relate to more on a personal level. And I think as a student body, I think everybody at Brookwood, they really appreciate what you've done for Brookwood, and you make coming to school and being able to just be um a little bit more uh comfortable with some of the staff, because sometimes at school students, including myself, sometimes may not feel like that connection with teachers, but with you, it's way easier to get that connection and
Yeah.
that feeling. But I wish you the best of luck, and I'm sure Brookwood as a whole does as well, not just the school but the community. And we wish you a very, very uh, great and plentiful, um, with blessings for your next chapter in your life. And we appreciate, like I said, appreciate everything you've done for us at Brookwood. But we know that you're going to be going on to great things, and we can't wait to see what you do at Peachtree Ridge.
Well, I appreciate it, Jalen. I mean, Brookwood softball is my first region matchup, so I mean I'll be here. They'll be there, so I'll see everybody a lot. I'm coaching on the baseball staff as well, so I'll be around at least 6 times a year that I know of. But I also just want to say that I appreciate you and I appreciate what you do and how you represent Brookwood the way that you do. I wish everybody did the things that you do. So I appreciate that. Keep growing, keep doing what you're doing, and I believe that you're going to make a big name for yourself one day. So just just keep that passion and motivation that you have towards things and chase your dreams, man, because you're going to do big things, buddy.
Thank you, Coach. I really appreciate that, and I definitely will be coming to that game. I'm gonna do everything I can to make that game. But
I expect it.
yes, sir. Well, that's all I have for you guys today. This was a great episode with Coach Holly, and we just had a great time today. Part two. If you didn't listen to part one, you got to go back and listen to that one. Um, and yeah, I hope you guys have a great Friday. If you haven't finished your digital learning work yet, make sure you finish that. And we will both be out, but I will see you guys next week for another episode on the J.A.T side. But until then, I'm your host, Jalen Austin Taylor, joined today by Coach Holly, and I'm out.
Appreciate it.